And Johnny, let's move on into our next topic, taking a look at a little bit of Ghostbusters. And before we get into it, because I'm going to mention this website during this segment, go check out our Twitters. You're at War Machine 9085. I'm at Ricky Widmer, also Most Valuable Podcasts at Most Valuable Pod. You can go ahead, hit us up, tweet us about anything that we talked about today. And if you need to contact us, you can always contact Most Valuable Pod through the DMs and slide on in. But Johnny, what we are going to be looking at is there's going to be a new Ghostbusters movie. Got a trailer for it that's going to be down below in the descript.
I would consider it more of a teaser trailer, but
oh, it is, but it's still a trailer.
Yeah, I guess
it's a tease, a little bit of a tease.
You're a tease.
They kind of tease here and there, but all we see from the trailer, in case you don't want to go click it, is barn in the night. We hear some like kind of creepy music-ish. We hear the pulses. We see what looks like the beam, but not really the beam, just the light from it, and kind of just it going everywhere. Tarp, wind blows. It's the back of the Ghostbusters vehicle, and then boom, summer 2020.
You know what I was really surprised about, though?
What?
Like, they didn't take the opportunity that thing blows up, and even you hear just the faintest dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be too picky, but
I'm not picky, but they didn't take the opportunity to do that.
That would have been cool. Like, whoosh, and right as it went to black, dun 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 dun, and then it fades. Like, and that would have been kind of
not
cool.
even like full out. It just like soft, really soft. Version of it, but whatever. Hey, that's their choice.
Here's the thing I want to bring up, because there's not a lot from the trailer to break down. We'll get to that when we get an actual one. But what I want to ask you today is because apparently this film is going to be taking place after Ghostbusters 1.
2.
So number 1. So it's supposed to be...
not after... I thought it was after the series.
The new film... No, listen.
Okay.
The new film is set to be a sequel to the 1984 original. The sequel, which was Ghostbusters 2, came out in 1989. So it says both the original Ghostbusters and the 1989 follow-up Ghostbusters 2 were directed by Ivan Reitman, father of Jason Reitman. Jason Reitman's going to direct this one. Let's see. The franchise starred Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis as 3 blah 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 professors. Yeah, we know. Is this just telling me about the new film will take place in the same universe as the 1984 and 1989 films. Dumping some nostalgic. While the trailer footage isn't likely to be seen in the actual movie, it does show a brief look at the Echo 1, the Ghostbusters vehicle, under a tarp, blah, blah, blah. I just told you. It really doesn't tell me anything besides that. But we know from the movie, according to Birth Movies Death, that it is believed that the main characters will be kids around 12 to 13, while presently unconfirmed, sources suggest there will be as many as 4 teenage protagonists, 2 girls, 2 boys. Another report also mentions 2 kids, but the character descriptions bear a striking resemblance to traits held by Ramis and Aykroyd's characters in the original. So we don't know for sure how many characters there are going to be. Some say 4, 2 girls, 2 boys. Some say just 2 characters. However, there has been a little bit of backlash with this. And I say a little because pardon me, a little Leslie Jones, if you don't know who she is, SNL, she was in the 2016 Ghostbuster film with Melissa McCartney, Kristen Wiig, and Kate McKinnon. So somebody tweeted at Jason Reitman and said, "You're going to bring back Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones, right? Because that would be awesome." To that tweet, we have Leslie Jones replying, "So insulting, like F us. We don't count. It's like something Trump would do." Trump voice. gonna redo Ghostbusters, better with men, will be huge. Those women ain't Ghostbusters. Ugh, so annoying. Such a dick move. And I don't give a F. I'm saying something. So, Johnny, I want to ask you, is Leslie Jones overreacting, or is she right on the ball with her criticism?
I'm going to go with, as long as the two boys, two girls thing we read is true, she's overreacting. Even so, she's overreacting. There was still the female Ghostbusters. And guess what? I'm sorry, but it's just business when it comes down to, if your movie doesn't do well enough for the, like, yeah, it may have made its profit back and then some, which is which is a good point, because the budget for the 2016 movie was $144 million, and it did make it make $229 million in the box office. So wait, 229.
It cost $144 million.
Yeah.
It made $229.
So maybe a little over $100 million.
Almost $100 million.
Almost. So almost $100 million.
It got to like maybe $80 million.
Yeah. So it's not. That's to a company as big as movie companies. That's okay.
We're talking $80 million on top of, because you think about this, like, on top of your budget. You want, like, if you break even, that's bad.
Yeah,
if you're breaking even, your movie's not that good.
You're never gonna try that again, like, ever.
Yeah.
But I mean, 80 mil is like, oh, okay, this is okay, but not enough for us to do it again. Not to mention, the tomato meter, which is what? That's the critics one, right?
Yeah, so the tomato meter, which is critics.
74?
Yep, 74. They got a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, but they had a 51 with the fan rating.
3.1 out of 10, or 3.1 out of 5.
And that shows you, like, hey, yeah, the critics said it was okay, it was decent, but the fans didn't like it that much. Like, yeah, it was like a 50%, so it's 50-50 flop back and forth. But does that warrant you to make another movie of that one? No, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. To sound rude on any part of that, but you don't. It's just all business sense. You don't want to make one that you don't think is going to work again. It's like, okay, let's go off of the 1980s ones and see with people like that. That part, okay, you're experimenting now. Hey, we're going to bring in the new gen. And I'm kind of surprised. I wonder if there's a typo in there somewhere, or if that's really what's going to happen. If it's not going to be based off of after the 1989 one. Because I would find it weird that we're going to go like a sequel from the first one, not from the second.
The article is weird, though. Yeah. Because, like I mentioned, how the first paragraph, it says it's a sequel to the 1984 original. But then in the second one, it says it's going to be in the same universe as 1 and 2. I'm assuming it's just going to be Ghostbusters 3. Like, just think about this as Ghostbusters 3 in this universe is what it's going to be.
And guess what? How many different things, like, okay, this is... Let's just take DC as an example. And yeah, they don't have necessarily... Well, I mean, it happened... It kind of happened in DC in the actual movie universe, but let's go DC cartoons. How many different universes are there in DC just... because they make different cartoons for things.
True.
Exactly. And yeah, I get that. That's cartoons, but that happens. Your movie doesn't do that well. You're kind of an alternate universe.
Yeah, I mean...
And not to mention, plus, this would probably take... This 2016 one, I didn't see it myself. I meant to. Didn't.
To me, I will be completely honest. Yeah. I had no,
I'll say at first, I wasn't going to go. Especially after hearing such mixed reviews on it. I was going to watch it like on Netflix or something or Redbox it, but I never got around to doing that. Yeah. Because other movies came out and we went to go see those. But my thing was, I'm not like judging the movie itself, but it's like, okay, anyways, even if so, it's a good chance that this one would take place after all those events. Because my guess is it took place in 2016. It looked like it was modern day. Whereas this one's probably like in the 90s, the early 2000s.
Let's see.
I would think.
I believe you're right with the 2016 one taking place in modern day. The plot that I'm looking at doesn't give an exact day.
But what it seemed like, because they were bringing back, it looked like they were bringing back whatchamacallit, the Ghostbusters.
And it says Patty joins the team providing historical knowledge of New York City and a repurposed Hearst Echo 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, the thing I'm trying to find out is movies that came out, because the thing that I think is most important to this conversation is the money part of it. Because I read to you, there was, so the same person that had that original tweet replied to Leslie Jones, and he said, I didn't say that, I want you ladies back. And somebody replied to him saying this, but no one else does. People that complain about what movies should have in them or who should be represented maybe should go actually support those products. Because when you get what you want and it loses money, why do you think the studio would do it again? It's like you said, it's a business thing where
it just comes down to business.
And let's be completely honest. Like the 2016 Ghostbusters film, I am going to say this. It was already fighting to get out of a hole as soon as it started. Am I saying that is justifiably right? No, it is not. It should have been taken on its own merits of, will it be a good movie? Not what, like, I'm not saying everyone, but there was a subsection that was like, female Ghostbusters? F this, F that, not my Ghostbusters, and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And that shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be that way. However, if that affects the box office,
it just comes down to business at that point.
It's all about the Benjamins.
They're not
in the end.
whatever. I don't know who actually is the movie company for this. Is it Universal or is it what is it?
This one was.
I don't know honestly off the bat.
So let's see. It was distributed by Columbia.
Okay, so Columbia is not going to be looking at that. Oh, we need to represent girls. We need to represent this group. We need to. It's like, how much are we making off of this? That's all it comes down to them. For the most part, it's they're gonna try and diversify when they're making the movie if they can, but it all comes down to how much money are we making off of this. We need to at very minimum make back what we've spent on the movie. 80 mil. How many movies really make 80 mil that are actually really good?
And that's the thing that I want to kind of look up right now, and I'm trying to get an article coming up with the exact. Okay, I think I might have hopefully found one. No, this one doesn't have exactly what I want. So, 2016 was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm trying to find movies that came out that same weekend or that same year. And just for example, Secret Life of Pets. That this didn't come out the same week. It came out a week before the Ghostbusters. But I'm going to use this as an example still to give you something to talk about so I can find ones that came out that same weekend. Yes, it was animated. So that is a little different. The budget for Secret Life of Pets, $75 million. You want to know how much money that movie has made at the box office? $875.5 million. It made $800 million more than its budget. Of course, there's going to be a second one.
Exactly.
Like, that is what the businesses look at. And if your movie did not get money for whatever reason it may be, then odds are you're probably not going to get a sequel or another movie to that in the end.
I found a bunch of movies that came out 2016, and I can name them to you. I don't obviously I don't know if any of them came out the same weekend.
Yeah.
But Deadpool came out, Moana came out, Suicide Squad came out, Fantastic Beasts, Marvel Civil War, Doctor Strange, just to name the first 6 that are labeled here.
Yeah.
Zootopia came out. I mean, I'm just even naming the ones that I know of. Batman v Superman, Ricky's favorite movie, came out.
Jesus Christ. That was at the end of the year. I remember that.
Yeah, it was.
Let me see if I can just look up the exact date. So 20th July.
Rogue One, The Revenant. All these movies came out. Oh, sorry. Revenant was 2015. I don't know why that one thrown.
So I've got it here. I've got it right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to look these up on the fly just to kind of see what we are looking at here. So one of the other movies that came out the same weekend as Ghostbusters, Sausage Party.
God.
And that movie alone, and this is another thing you got to look at with this one, because all these are not like exact examples.
Exactly.
But you look at it, it's animated, so it's probably going to be less money to make. And plus, it's Seth Rogen and James Franco, and they all do multiple voices. So the movie only costed $19 million to make. They made $140 million on that film. Like, that is a return investment that's like, okay, cool. That is a win for what we spent and what we made. Also, what came out during that time is The Infiltrator came out during that one. Precious Cargo, which was Bruce Willis movie that he was in. Let's see. What were some other big ones that came out that weekend? Most of these I'm not even recognizing. But it looks like maybe Sausage Party was the biggest one that came out that weekend. And yeah, man, unless this website is wrong, like that weekend was not, like, let's put it this way. That weekend was not stacked and you only made 80 million. Like, and I get people are going to say, well, guys, like, only made 80 million. Like, what are you talking about? 80 million is a lot, but it's like, is it really?
Is a lot to a film company. That's the question. And that, to me, I would think probably not, because, I mean, you're looking to make, I would say you're probably looking to at least make back double your movie.
Yes.
How much you spent on, you're probably looking to make back double. You only got, you said it was cost them
144.
144.
And they made 229.
And they made 229. So you only got 80 back. You want to probably make, like I said, you probably want to make double. That's what I usually.
I get it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I get it's different, and I get people didn't know it was going to be bad at the time.
Oh,
but
no.
BVS.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They spent $250 on that movie.
Yeah.
Made $873 million. Now, the thing I'm going to say with that's different to here is people didn't know that BVS was going to be a hot flaming pile of dog poop. And they were excited to see Batman and Superman. So that had a hype.
Excited to see them duke it out.
That had a hype behind it, and that's the interesting thing for this conversation is the whole thing that it comes to with the Ghostbusters is really, this is the root of the problem. In marketing, an idea came out and there was enough of the population that did not like it, that did not like the idea that you presented. Because let's be honest, with this money, and I know you and I are in not the group that was like, I'm going to boycott this movie, not my Ghostbusters.
No, it just wasn't our priority.
It did, exactly. It did enough. I'm not even going to say it that way. It didn't do enough to excite the casual like me and you to go see it.
Exactly.
And that is the root of a problem, to where if that happens, you cannot, and this is bringing it back to Leslie Jones, you cannot be upset then that the studios don't bring you back. Because if you're not going to make the money, they're not going to use you, and they're not going to use your product. Like, the thing we have to realize with movies in this day and age is it all comes down to money. Just because you are given something, movie studios are not going to anymore say, all right, we have 3 movies lined up for you. You get your own trilogy. Like, that's just not going to happen. Whereas nowadays it's more so hey, you really have to make that money the first time so that you can go ahead and get that second film and not just think it's automatically going to be there for you.
Exactly. And the other part of her thing, there was an argument that not having women actors do it again, right? Or something like that. I mean, that was one of her comments, though?
Well, she said...
Yeah, reread it for me.
Because here's the reread.
Okay.
So insulting, like F us. We don't count. So right there, you can tell the kind of undertone of women don't count. That's what she's kind of saying, in my mind.
In my I would think so.
Then she says, it sounds like something Trump would say, and I'm not going to do the Trump voice this time.
Aw.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, do the Trump voice for them again.
Huge. Gonna redo Ghostbusters. Better with men. Will be huge. those women ain't Ghostbusters. Like, and right
Thank
there,
you.
you're saying the crux of your argument is that we hated it because you're women.
Yeah, let's be fair. There were that group out there, but that wasn't everyone.
Because then she says, "Oh, so annoying, such a dick move. I don't give an F. I'm saying something." Like, for me, it's like, it would be different if the movie with me, it would be different if the movie made more money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I would say if the movie had made like double what they spent on it, so like they made so they made double what they spent on it, which means they made the 144, then they made another 144 mil. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, okay, well, you guys did make double. Why wouldn't you reconsider like making one with the four of them again? Mm-hmm. But like if you only got 80 mil, that's not even doubling what the movie cost to make. So they're not going to consider you guys again. You can't be mad. It's not the fact that they're not going to recast women, because like I said, and again, I wonder if she looked into this at all, or she just saw the first thing and said, "Oh, they're rebooting Ghostbusters. Well, fuck us." Mm-hmm. No, it says possibly it's either going to just be two characters, unspecified, or two boys, two girls. So there you go. I mean, you can't. Don't be mad about it, and at least until you find out the details. That's the other part. Like, you're overreacting, you're jumping the gun. Wait to find out what's going to be happening in this movie. Mm-hmm. All we got so far was an old barn, some flashing, some creepy music, and the Echo One. Mm-hmm. We don't know. We don't know what's happening yet. It could be an all-girl cast again, but younger. It could be two boys, two girls. It could just be two boys. Mm-hmm. We don't know yet. But it's not the fact of the matter is, it's nothing to do with it being the four of them. To a degree, it's not the fact of it being the four women. It's the fact that you guys didn't make enough money off the movie. The company didn't make enough money off the movie. They're not going to do it again.
Well, and that's just it. Where I wanna, last thing I'm gonna do, and this is kind of the crux of the argument here, is. If I go list mode, it's going to tell me 2019. I want 2018. Rotten Tomatoes. So here's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Holmes and Watson.
Yeah.
That came out this past year, at the end of the year. Got a tomato meter of, guess what the tomato meter on this movie was?
58.
10%.
Oh, God.
It got a 3 out of 10 from the critics. Only 7 people out of 69 critics thought that it was fresh.
Fresh.
The audience, 29%. No, I'm sorry, 28%. A 1.9 out of 5 was the average for it. Let's see how much money it made and how much money it cost to spend, because that's another thing. This is the first live action one, I think, that we're using.
Yeah.
And let's see here. There's the Wikipedia page. So, Holmes and Watson. Exactly. It cost $42 million to make. Mm-hmm. It made 38.7.
Yeah, they're never going to touch.
It did not break even.
They're not going to touch that again, ever.
And let's be honest, though, too. That one, if I'm not mistaken, came out the same weekend as Aquaman,
which was a bad idea.
It was not going to win. It was not going to win.
A bad idea. It's like, you don't go. But I mean, let's be fair. Like you stated, you did look up who else came out that same weekend.
Like Sausage Party was the big one.
Yeah,
there was no other big ones that came out.
You had to compete with a Seth Rogen Sausage Party movie, which I think that was a fair chance to be honest.
Well, let's be honest. Like it was a fair chance, but let's be completely honest.
Yeah.
How many people might have been like, yeah, let's go see Sausage Party instead of Ghostbusters? Like, did it do enough in its trailer to, then this is the question I'm bringing back. Not the extreme group, the group like me and you.
Yeah.
Did it do enough to bring a casual fan into the movie? I'm going to say no.
No. Well, to be fair, you and I didn't go see either of those at that point.
I saw Sausage Party.
We didn't see Sausage Party,
I
though.
saw it with
You
Brandon.
saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went, but I still made the decision to go see Sausage Party over Ghostbusters.
But what was it? The decision? Hey, we're already gonna go see a movie. Let's go see Sausage Party. Or it's like, do I want to go see the movie? Would you have seen
There was
it?
a debate. There
Would
was
you have
a little bit of a
like? Would you
debate.
have seen it if you weren't necessarily keen on seeing a movie that day?
If Brandon would have said, "Hey, let's go see Ghostbusters instead," I would have been like, "Yeah, sure, fine."
Exactly. There you go.
But I mean, it was if we had the choice.
Yeah.
We chose Sausage Party. Like that was it. Hey, let's go see Sausage Party. Not, hey, what do you want to see? No, the choice was never there because it wasn't in the conversation in our minds. It didn't do enough. That's the word. Do enough is what I'm saying.
Exactly. And I'm agreeing with you on that. I'm just saying, like, I don't think Sausage Party was that big a movie that, like, Aquaman versus Holmes and Watson type thing. Like, yeah, people were walking out of home. I'll be fair. I've read that people were walking out of Holmes and Watson within the first 20 to 40 minutes.
So it was like a Delta farce.
Sure. I don't know.
Do you remember what Delta farce was?
I don't.
That was Bill Engvall and Larry the Cable Guy, where they were. What's the premise of that movie exactly? So
I know it like military or something, wasn't it?
It was. So they get like dropped in Mexico.
Yeah.
And what's so funny about Delta farce? So this movie came out, if you're unfamiliar with it, in May of 2007. So we're juniors in high school at this time. Would we have been? This would have been end of junior year. End of junior year going almost into senior year. The plot of this movie, I'll just read the beginning of it. Larry, Bill, and Everett played by DJ Qualls from The New Guy, the skinny guy and main character from The New Guy, are three friends who each have their own shares of misfortune. Larry was a waiter who lost his job attempting to publicly propose to his girlfriend. Turned out to be cheating on him while on the job, causing him to insult a customer. Bill is living off a slip and fall lawsuit settlement and is almost constantly berated by his wife over their living conditions. And Everett is an inept security guard who was fired after only 4 days as a police officer after crashing his car into a nail salon. The three are members of the state military reserves, although their duties in the reserve mostly consist of drinking, partying at the reserve center once a month. Manpower shortage from the Iraq war. They basically get dumped in, where is it? Yeah, a thunderstorm over Mexico. They get dumped in Mexico, and it's their adventure through that. Dave and I made it 20 minutes. We made it to where they got dumped in Mexico, looked at each other and was like, yeah, let's just leave. You want to know the kicker of this? We didn't even pay for the movie. We saw a different movie. I think we saw Spider-Man that came out that same weekend. Saw that Delta Farce was starting at the same time, slipped into it, and we always make the joke now that Delta Farce wasn't even worth free. It wasn't worth free, Johnny.
Yeah.
Like, we sat there and we're like, yeah, let's just get up and leave.
So you went and saw Spider-Man. You went to go see Delta Farce because you were there.
Well, we just saw it. Like, we didn't plan to double dip.
Yeah.
But we just saw it, and I was like, hey, these previews looked funny. You want to go see it? And Dave's like, sure, I got nothing else to do. I mean, we're freaking high school kids. What else do we have to do?
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, yeah, that was it. It was not worth free. So any final thoughts on this before we wrap it up?
No, it's just like, the thought of don't shoot the gun on things. Make sure you know what's going to happen in it. And just remember, it's business. It's not personal.
And I didn't mean to cut you off there. Wow, I still have the Spider-Man trailer playing.
Do you?
Throughout this entire segment. So my final thought is, I get why Leslie Jones is mad.
I get it.
I would also be upset if I was in a movie and the film studio was not picking me up for a second movie. Like, I would be upset too, especially if I thought it was a good movie on my merit and I thought it deserved a second one. But I also, at the same time, cannot justify where she is pointing the gun. Point the gun at the studio for not making the movie, although it made money. That's where you should be pointing. Don't point it at this outrage. Like, don't point it at this outrage because like basically and this is me reading into her tweet. If you saw something else, that's perfectly fine. But how I saw it is her pointing the finger because men didn't like our movie because we're women. And then what totally turns me off about it is that I get it. We hate him. He's not a good president. He's a terrible person most of the time. He's shutting down our government and he's ruining lives.
We're on day 20-something, almost 30.
But
just to state, I get that.
The point is, he's not an ideal person.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you.
I feel like at this point, if you throw Trump into your argument that has nothing to do with him, in my mind, you're discrediting your argument.
I agree.
You're trying to make it more of a joke than a serious point. In my mind, that is what I think. I don't think she even needed to mention the Trump thing in.
That chunk of it did not even need to be in there. There was no point.
Yeah, all she had to do was, it felt like she was making a point. Oh, wait, this will be a funny joke to take a rip at Trump, and then back to a serious point.
Yeah.
Like, just stay on point. You didn't have to make the joke. I get you're a comedian,
I don't even think she was making it funny.
I
think she was just like... To me, it didn't even come off as her making it funny. It was all complete rant. It's like you just kind of
her making fun of Trump, doing like the sarcastic joke of Trump to try to make it funny.
Yeah, but to me, it's just like it didn't come off as funny. It just dove into complaining about Trump and then back onto your point. It's like there's this section that didn't need to be in there because it didn't have anything to do with your point.
Well, this is where I turn on to you guys. Let us know what you guys think if you have not already. This is one of those topics that I love, where we did the same thing with the Henry Cavill argument. Well, not argument. His whole thing were with the, not necessarily Me Too, but him just talking about how it's different for a single actor to approach girls now because of what's going on. I really like the comments we got in that one. Some nice conversation going back and forth, no one kind of yelling at each other. Let's try to have the same thing here. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section.